Hello ladies and gents, I'm Diffin and welcome back to Aurora 4X. Unfortunately, this episode has got a couple of issues with it. One is that it's a little bit longer than normal, and that is because of this second reason. I broke the recording, so this is post-commentary. And I am just trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing. So, at this point I was looking at expanding my naval shipyards and realised that I built a load of spaceports rather than military naval shipyard complexes, which is irritating, but I realised that mistake, and having additional shipyards is useful anyway. So I click on 5 turns because I think, oh, maybe something hasn't refreshed properly, and I'll look there and go, oh no, something is still not wrong. Have I built it on some other place? No, I just made a mistake and actually built several spaceports. I see there, oh, check the spaceport commercial level, it's level 3 rather than level 1, because I know I built 1, so I decided to build 2 naval shipyard complexes. Yeah, and I realised, because I remembered that I built a facility with multiple resources rather than just the 2. No, build 2 and get right on that immediately. There we go, it's just checking on the retooling progress for the Braswell, and decide to go to, if I want to do anything with the Unimate, which you do. I want to build the Nelson. I forget what the name is though, but it is the Nelson construction ship. Just check to see if there's any new tech or anything improvements and how large it is. Just check for the armour, nothing new armour there. The ion drives, I am on ion drive technology. I could work on the mag pulse engines, but I decided it is okay for now. It'll just be a little bit faster. It doesn't really need to go up again. I decided not to build another outreach because I want my next freighter to be faster and maybe even have a larger cargo capacity. So just retool for that class and then carry on with the days. Straight away though, the anti-missile missiles are completed on Tunny. That is nice. I decided, do I want to increase any more? Let's see how we stockpiles. I've got 4,000 though. 4,000 is enough for the moment. And all I need to do, I just increase the production capacity of the anti-ship missiles to up that to 100%. So they will build nice and quick as well. A research has already completed though on the Sorium Harvester. A very, very nice little production project there. And now I'm just entirely sure what to go for next. I think though the small jump gate construction module would be nice. It does take longer than the other one, but it is half the size, which just means I don't have to have such a huge ship to carry one. Of course, doesn't matter now, it's built. The retooling has been completed at the Noble Shipwrights. Now that will allow me to build some Braswell. Not retool, build. The bottom one, yes, construction. Add task. I just checked the resources and realise it uses Sorium. Not actual fuel, it uses Sorium as a component. I think that might be for the fuel tanks themselves. I'm not entirely sure. This is a problem because I'm slowly using all my resources to turn all my Sorium into fuel, which generally is a good thing, but I need Sorium for construction, so I stopped that because my Sorium is actually quite low. My fuel has got good reserves there, 126 million litres, but the Sorium, if that runs out, then I can't build ships, and if I can't build ships, I can't progress anywhere. So I decided stop the fuel production and then build a Braswell, the Jump Scout, or Jump Tent. I'm decided Jump Tent to Jump Scout. I'm going to be using it as scouting, so hence I'm using it as Jump Scout. The cruiser variant will probably be a Jump Tender. So I'd add 5,000 tons onto that. And the next shipyard is completed. So that is good. Just quickly add on another additional space capacity. I should really have added on smaller amounts, because as a shipyard gets larger, it produces faster. So going straight to 10,000 isn't as good as if I increased it incrementally. Just one reason why the continual upgrade is useful, as it means your shipyard will always be producing faster. Small jump gate construction module is completed. So I just create a new design so I can test out volumes of stuff. Have a look in the design view, because I forgot that you can just have a look and see different sizes. So the jump gate module is only size 500 rather than size 1000, which is quite a lot smaller and makes it so that the ship would only be around about 30k or maybe 40k and being a heck of a lot faster. Of course, I did forget to set a research, so 6 research projects are empty. So, production, what to build next. And I'm really not too sure at this point. Like, ooh, I could go additional mining, so I'd do that. You know, it is always useful, but not as vital as some other tech, so I remove a couple of the labs. And decide, yeah, you know what, have I got logistics? No, still no logistics ground combat person. Darn. Who do I give this other lab to? Let's see what other defensive systems are available to me if I want to add another research lab to Leon Wade. But no, I decided to go additional sensors because sensors are much like power propulsion, is something which is always useful to be continually upgrading. The further you can see, the better you can fight. Corbinite has been exhausted on Moon 13. Not a good thing to be a place to be in. There's still mines are still being added to it. I think they're being added to this one. You can see, still got 3 years of depletion. Yeah, still moving there. That's all okay, I guess. Let's just continue. I really shouldn't have had the outreach refueling on every single trip. Should have just had it on a conditional order. But when it was low on fuel, to refuel. Rather than refueling every time, it's wasting a lot of effort, as you can see, going round and round, doing a triangular route. So it's taking more time and wasting the fuel, which... So it's actually using more fuel, even though it's... Yeah. It's a stupid thing to do. Don't do it. I mentioned that at this point, highlighting the point. So, mining production is done. That is very good. So I could go back to the construction production. I should really queue up tech as well. I don't do this enough. But it's quite often I like keeping tech low, I like it pausing and then deciding what I want to do based on the current situation. And a lot of games don't like queuing up far into the future, because if I do that I have a tendency to not change my mind, whereas if I do it all the time it's like, oh actually I should probably expand this one. It gives it a little bit more in the moment and what's useful sooner rather than later. Here I'm deciding, oh that's actually a long way to go. It's 4,290 research points left out of an original 5,000. Not 4,290 out of 5,000 left. It's a little bit weird to do that, but you just have to think of it as it's how much is left compared to how much originally there was. Railgun completed. It's very nice. Oh no, not that one. I keep getting that wrong. Research started on a railgun, but the box launcher is done. These are wonderful little things. They can only be rearmed in a hangar bay or at a maintenance facility. And I can show you in tons. So it's 400 tons for a normal launcher, but with a box launcher it's only 60 tons. This means that they will fit on fighters, because fighters can only be up to a maximum of 500 tons. Fighters being constructed in specialised fighter facilities without having to retool anything. So a very nice little feature. And they don't need a bridge. Also because they're small, they're very fast. I'm actually considering utilising these missile launchers on a regular basis, since the current doctrine of missiles I'm using in this Let's Play, in this game in general, is having very, very fast, short-ranged missiles. And it's that short-ranged factor which is going to be an issue for me. because although I can make my battleships and cruisers and that move very fast, in order to move a very large hull like that, it will utilise an incredible amount of fuel. I think in the long run it would be better to have more slower moving big carrier ships carrying inside them an array of fast moving fighter craft or even fast assault craft. I haven't decided yet which to go, fighters or fast assault craft, and they will have box launchers on them to maximise their firepower in as short a space of time as possible. I also decided to create a PDC missile launcher, size 1, for defensive purposes of my planets. Just adjust it down a little bit to get it down to a 5-second fire rate, so it's the PDC anti-missile system. So do I want to go for a reduced size launcher? Because if we make it slightly smaller, it will take twice as long to fire, but it will also be smaller, can fit more in. Though this is not so much of an issue with regards to PDCs, because PDCs are built planet-side, and so you don't have to worry about retooling costs and retooling actual stations, or the fact they have to jump them. Of course, larger PDCs do require more sections when you're trying to manoeuvre them around planet to planet, but that is less of an issue. You can always have freighters move quite large numbers of them. They don't need to be moved fast. So just write down the name. It's a 5-second launcher. It's anti-missile missile. Create that project. Only 60 RP is dirt cheap. First though, I want to go design it. I need to research it. So, missile kinetic. Cancel that research. Go to missiles. So only the matching scientists. And where is the PDC? There it is. Only created it with one lab though, what? So, whoops, I broke that. I thought I put the wrong scientist on, I didn't, but I just hadn't selected the 4 labs for them. It's a minor mix-up. So then Q on the railgun, and then decide to add on some additional Gauss cannon rate of fire, because I think Gauss cannons would be very useful for anti-missiles, so long as I can get them turreted, because railguns shoot rapidly, but they can't be turreted, so they base their tracking speed on the speed of the ship. And since I'm probably going to be having fairly slow ships, particularly compared to missiles, I think having additional Gauss weapons would be useful. Also, Gauss are pretty cheap for fighters, because you can make them very small compared to other beam weapons. Other beam weapons are pretty much static in terms of size. So, let's go to the Planetary Defense Center. Let's add on a large number of anti-missile launchers. Just checking the costs. Thought there might be a little bit difference in cost, but no, there isn't. They just shoot twice as quick, which is nice. Thinking about 30 or so, and then 3 anti-missile controls. That allows me to fire 3 salvos of 10 apiece at the various missiles. Not the best anti-missile system ever. We've got the backup anti-missile sensor there. Probably an idea to have a active sensor PDC as well, though this is just a small backup one. It's not going to be anything amazing, but it is quite small. It's only a single section there. Of course, the magazine capacity is only 30. So I'm just looking for the magazines and adding in several magazines. Don't technically need missiles. You can instantly reload from population. I just feel that's a little bit... yeah, it's a bit weird. I feel like I should at least have some magazines on the PDC itself. And yeah, we'll reload from population once they're mixed or vented, but I just feel it seems a little bit cheap to fire 30, instantly reload from population, fire 30, instantly reload from population. Just making sure it's staying within 2 sections, just so it's lightweight to manoeuvre around. And it's got a decent planetary protection value. It's 30, it's not the best ever, but it is a good value. I'm leaving the fuel on there because I've had issues in the past where if you don't have fuel tanks on at all, it just keeps on complaining that it has no fuel. It's a real pain. Doesn't have anything there all the time, but just from my experience, it's easier to put a small fuel tank on there. I should have made it a small fuel tank rather than a standard one, but there we go. I can't find out where to build the darn thing. There it is, build PDC or to habitat. Let's create one of those. And straight away, PDC is completed on Tunny. Because I have a huge amount of construction facilities on Tunny. A little bit too many, but for the moment, really. That could be utilised in future, though, for building actual ship components. And then do prefabbing the ship components, such as engines and that. Then when I want to build ships, I just have to essentially assemble all the components. At this point, I cannot figure out how on earth to load the ship, since I forgot to set it up initially, which is what I normally do. So normally it's like, oh yeah, let's just load them straight in, reload from population. I can't remember how to do that. So again, I'm mentioning having a small amount of fuel on the ship so as not to get the error showing up at the bottom all the time. But I haven't selected the source, the population, that's the population, you see. So I need to load them in from population. And there we go. It's just simple of double clicking on the missile I wanted. Not difficult, it's just I couldn't not remember how to do it. There you go. All the anti-missile missiles have been assigned. Mark 1, the anti-missile, 29k speed, 1.4 million kilometer range, and it's the Mark 1. Again, just checking my resources. I want to produce some more anti-missile missiles, because, well, I just dropped 780 sitting in PDC now. They'll be created after the anti-ship missiles. Gauss cannon fire rate has also been completed. Well, no, it's about started. Retooling for the Nelson class ship at the Unimate shipyards on Tunny has been completed. Now it is time to build a couple of them. The reason I'm going to build two is, although really only ever need one jump ship, just takes a while, it allows me to have backup. So if one gets destroyed, then I won't have to retool it again. These will basically go out, build. If one gets destroyed, I have a spare. So I don't have to ever... Essentially, these will be the two ships I will use forever building jump gates. That's the plan, anyway. Damage control has been completed. I'm just double checking because I thought I saw a important thing, and that was it's got a new officer. So quite a good officer, to be perfectly honest. Nice fighter combat 40%, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, not much else. New research, defensive systems. I'm considering going into shields, but honestly, shields are pretty rubbish unless they're fully teched up. Thermal reduction, though, would be useful because I haven't got... I would quite like a stealth ship. The Braswell is not stealthy. Making scouts stealthy would be a very useful thing. Have very high passive sensors, go into a system, see if it's occupied without actually having to do anything. Fighter production has been improved. Not something I'm doing at the moment, but it is something which I will consider going into in the near future. Additional shipbuilding rate is just always useful, so go for that. And then expand the civilian economy. Missiles being completed. And then what I do is, because that reminded me, I haven't set up the ordnance for the Queensland or the Rodney. So just load in as possible. Can only take 44 of them, that is fine. That's 44 is still a good number. A decent number of salvos, in fact. And then the Rodney have its anti-missiles. Because 774 of those, which is, again, quite a large number. Just double checking if there's any changes need to make to that, which there are none. Because soon I'll be able to start retooling for those. The Braswell has been completed. I have a jump ship. First thing, build another one. Now I'm going to rename this fleet, this task group, to the first strike force. Strike forces will also be things which could do with renaming, I believe. So any of the ship designs can be renamed. In fact, anything you want renamed. I'd have got colonies and that already planned, so I'm going for the whole code-breaking names for all the planets and colonies. Magazine feed is now working, which is good. But other than that, names for pretty much everything else is open. Magnetoplasma drive technology is done. Excellent. Just in time to miss all the ships. Of course, it doesn't matter too much. You have to build ships at some point. Otherwise, you can't just keep on researching to go in forever, particularly when you're running out of resources like myself. Going for additional drive speed to get the absolute fastest missiles possible. Combined with the drive technology just researched, can get missiles going over 72,000 kilometers a second, which is insane and really hard to shoot down. Speaking of missiles, the anti-missile missiles have been completed. There we go, the Nelson class has been built. Go detach it. Now give it orders. So, go build some jump gates. Building jump gates on all the outbound ones are fine. It means that, any enemies who get in the system can get out, which is preferable. Building stuff on the inbound is less ideal, because it means that any ship can enter, but most of the enemy you face will have some sort of jump capability. The only time they really don't is if you destroy their jump ships. Civilian economy is now supposed to be expanded, but the shipbuilding rate has been expanded already, which is great. As per usual, check to see if I've got any logistics guys, and I forget who Leon Wade is a researcher for. Maybe I should just rename all the teams as their name, so have all the project leaders with like the actual type of research might be beneficial. There we go. So Leon Wade, go do some more stuff. Because I do want to do that. Probably just go slowly into new armour. Very slow project, but don't need anything immediately from defence systems. The Nelson has built its first jump gate. There will be others. And I decide, oh yes, I need to give it a special order. If its fuel is beginning to run out, go refuel. And off it goes to build another jump gate. Additional 5,000 tons has been built. An interesting point here is that this one was going to complete a lot quicker. I decided, oh hang on, how much more? So I had to go another 5,000 tons just to get them all up to 11,000 to get that additional build speed. And I will need them a lot larger for later on. Nelson has again built another order. Production has been completed. Just quickly check, see how these are going. And there's no facilities left on that, so destroy it. Gonna barely take any time left. One thing I had forgotten to do was set the mass driver destination. I find that out later. Nelson though, go carry on building me jump gates. Now the outreach, I'm going to set its condition for fuel. If you're at colony as a conditional order, and then do the actual moving of the mines. Pretty sure though the conditional orders break any plotted moves like that though. Thermal sensitivity 14 is done. Tracking time bonus versus missile. I don't know how good that is, or even how the tracking time works, but 20% is a good bonus, so going for it. Magazine feed, good, that means more efficient magazines. Braswell 2 has been completed. And the second strike force. Probably just change those so that they end up in the same point. So rather than the first and second, it might be Strike Force 1 and Strike Force 2. The next Nelson class jump gate construction ship has been completed. Just give that orders to build some, and then the same conditional orders as the other Nelson. Just refuel whenever you're low on fuel. Corundium on Bletchley A has been exhausted already. Haven't even finished moving the mines over there yet. 1001. Go build another jump gate. The economy has been expanded. So yes, additional income. I've already got a big stockpile of income, but it is used for everything. And then used a lot when I actually have a civilian economy with civilian ships, but I don't at the moment, but they will come eventually. Maybe 40 years into the game, but they will come. So you know what? We've got additional research labs. Let's put them somewhere more useful. Nelson 2 has also completed its building. Go build a jump gate on the last jump point. There you go, Corundium has now been exhausted. This makes Tunny barren. Does have 1,000 mines on it though, but they are manual mines. Be quite expensive. I could convert them all into automated mines and shift them around, but manual mines, if possible, I would like to keep hold of, since they are a lot cheaper than automated. Just return to Tunny, since all the jump gates are being constructed. It's completed its orders already. No matter. $5,000 tons has been added on more shipbuilding company. See how quickly that added on its additional tonnage, and that's the other one which I did 10,000. It's still only at 75%. You can see increasing the size of them incrementally helps so much with building them, and why that expanding continuously is a good idea, because if you expand continuously, as it builds faster, so each cycle it builds more and more and more. It drains resources at an immense rate, and I don't have that many materials. I really have just what I have in stockpiles. I decided to go for the Rodney first, because having defensive ships are better than offensive ships, I find. Also, with anti-missile missiles, I can turn them offensive if I like. You can just, go in close, fire them at point blank range. It's not very effective or efficient, but it is doable. And there we go, build a Rodney. Nelson 2 has completed its orders. And that means now all jump gates have been completed. Head back to Tunny and refuel. So, I remember at this point, I haven't told any of my ships to do a maintenance repair. So the Grav survey ship has currently 2 years on its maintenance clock. Let's rewind that. I tried before, but I didn't have enough maintenance on the planet. So just try and find where maintenance is. There we go. Begin overhaul. And Napoleon has completed its overhaul, which is good. Decides to have a look round, see if there's anything improved. Nothing's changed really. Just check for any logistics ground control, and still no one. Really annoying that. Might be worth getting another academy, in fact, to help speed up that process. Additional munitions completed, or worked on. Outreach has completed its orders, but it hasn't. I think it's because it decided to refuel and it broke its order chain. I do have a notice, it's still got resources on it. I've forgotten to set the mass driver destination. So it's going there. This one isn't However, there, it's still got stockpiles, so can't delete the colony, otherwise I will lose those stockpiles. The whole point of going to that place was to get the stockpiles. There we go, research completed. Just double check how that's going. Still stockpiled there. It's going down. Just take a few months to leave everything off the planet. Of course, get distracted. Go, oh yes, I've got the science. Since the fire controls. Now it's like, what do I go for next? Go for EM sensors, because that helps the grav and basically everything else. Again, don't need that many researchers on it. Let's add some into the missile damage ones. Missile damage always being useful when you're using missiles, which I am. Now, the 10,000 tons capacity has been added to the Thornton fabricators. However, misclick here. Again, just double check nothing has changed for the Queensland destroyer. No new armour, nothing's changed in the interim period. I didn't think it had. Always worth checking though. It's before you retool for something, because once you retool it, it's then locked in. I mean, you can use Space Master to change the design, but I'd rather not. I select the wrong one here. To Queensland. No, just hang on. What? Oh heck. I like to stop delete activity. Let's retool the empty one to the Queensland. Set activity. I'm like, oh heck. Have I broken anything with Rodney? No, thank goodness it's still going. It's 99% complete. So if that had broken it, that would have been an absolute nightmare. There we go, the Rodney has been finished. Have a Rodney! Yay! Let's build another. There we go, the Rodney is available. Just can now move it into its correct location. There we go. Rodney, move from the shipyard task group to the first strike force task group. Let's continue. Oh, research. 7 inactive research labs. Whoops. Power propulsion. Got some interesting tech available now. Let's go for minimum engine modifier to make some more efficient engines. Definitely help out the civilian side of things, because they'll go faster and be more efficient. Well, they'll be going slower, but be more efficient. Power modifier has been improved, or unimproved, I guess. Power propulsion. Now I've only got the one scientist. Yeah, I should get another academy, I think. Get more scientists. It's like, what do I go for now? So I'd actually just do a across-the-board improvement of jump drive tech. So rather than just the tech 1, go across the board, improve how many can be jumped, and how far they can be moved. Just like that. Just research everything. You know what? Yeah, slightly better power reactor. Big boost, not much more explosive. Okay, yeah, add it all on. Why hell not, right? Excellent, extra terraforming rate. This geneticist has been doing work. I've got loads of geneticists. I'm like, you know what? Let's just keep on with the terraforming rate. I'm going to have some amazing terraformers. And it's just this one guy. Like an absolute specialist in terraforming. It's an absolutely amazing guy. And while I'm here, you know what? Let's just keep on adding on additional stuff. So, additional Gauss rate fire. Fire rate is always useful. Additional production. You know what? Additional research. It's a long time, but the faster research can be done, the faster it will be done. It's just, I can't afford new labs, so improving the research is good. So the Queensland destroyer has been built. It's now giving me very basic combat capabilities. And while I'm here, Oh yes, I can remove that. So let's get all those components moved off and build another Queensland. Outreach, go finish moving the stuff off the moon onto the asteroid. There we go, the new orders are placed, so that can now go complete those. And they go, oh yes, I actually need to do the task group as well. So, first strike force. Add yourself a Queensland. There we go, so it's got Queensland, Rodney and a Braswell. So your first action is to turn off your sensors. Things I can't remember how to check that sensors are off. The point is, I kind of forget the big A for active sensors, but you know, it's fine. Like, oh, if I put them A, if they're active, it's A there, it's really obvious. I can't believe we've got that. Just trying to turn on the Braswell only, but it looks like all of them will turn on. It's just Braswell will still be the most seen, but that is fine. So, first strike force. Transit, jump point 1. Do a squadron transit because that will get the sensors online faster than a standard transit. It's about, well, it's a few, 30 seconds instead of about a couple of minutes. Also, actually, in the auto turn on 5 seconds here, I wonder why on earth it's taking so long to do anything. It's because nothing is actually happening. It's transiting. It's doing 5-second things. Oh, has the game broken? Event log. Oh, that's increment 5 seconds. Whoops. Just to do, you know, big chunks. I want to see what's going on. And there we go. Into Proxima Centauri A. I was surprised that I didn't think I was using real names, but maybe I accidentally toggled it back on. Thought I was using fake star names. Still, might still draw from the true name pool, but I didn't think it would. And there is nothing here at all. It's a pretty void system. It says basically perfect exploration. It's nice to have an empty system. Can put some passive censorship in there, or things I can't because they can't get prepared, but at least it gives me a chance to see things in the future. Next task is the Queensland. To realise why it went out of ammo, it's because it can't fill it up because of the missiles being larger. Squadron transit through jump point 2. Then I need the Nelson to transit the jump. Then build the jump gate on the jump point, which is great. And then I'll need to have the Napoleon transit the jump point. Transit jump point. And then I need you to do a survey location. It's like, oh, I can do survey locations. Whatever, that's all could do by itself. Survey nearest survey location. There we go, that will get. I'll now go locate the new jump points in Proxima Centauri. There it is. Napoleon's going to start doing its work. And BAM! Into Tau Ceti! First strike force is in Tau Ceti, and that is a busy system. That has lost a lot of asteroids. Let's load up the system map and see what is here. A lot. And there are 2 planets of interest. A terrestrial moon and a terrestrial planet. I don't know what the colours necessarily mean. The expensive colony cost. That is not suitable for me, but it is technically a breathable atmosphere at an okay temperature. High gravity, but something might be living on it. Similarly, for Tau Ceti A, methane atmosphere. Something could be a methane breathing race and living on that planet. It is very, very cold though. It is concerning. May have an alien race here. The system itself though is amazing. Hundreds of asteroids and dozens of moons. There are almost 600 asteroids to explore. This if it's not a, well, even if it is a combat system, there is a lot here to explore. This is going to be a really, really important system for the future. However, that's it for this episode, so thank you very much for watching this episode of Aurora 4X with myself, Anna Diffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Otherwise, that's it for me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye!